What is a list? A list is an ordered collection of items. Lists are mutable, meaning their contents can be changed after creation. Lists can store elements of different types, example integers, strings, other lists, etc. Let's create a new Python file called lists where we can try list operations. So to define a list, we have the syntax list name equals, then within square brackets, element 1, comma, element 2, comma, element 3, and so on. As an example, my list equals within brackets 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5, comma red, comma blue, comma green. This is a list that contains both integers and strings. Now to print the list, we write print mylist and run the code. As you see, we get the elements of the list as the output. Now that we have created a list, let's look at some operations that can be performed on lists. How do we access the elements of a list? We do this by accessing the index of the element in the list. By default, although the first element is placed at the first position, its index in the list is 0. The list index always starts at 0. For example, 1 is at index 0, 2 is at index 1, 3 is at index 2, and so on. This means that the index of any element in the list is its position in the list minus 1. So, to get 2 from the list, we write print mylist, then within brackets 1, because 2 has an index of 1. To get red, we write print mylist 5, because red has index 5. Let's run this and see the results. As you see, we got 2 from the first print statement and red from the second print statement. Next, what do we do if we want to add more elements in the list? For this, we use the append method. It's an inbuilt method in Python that can be used with lists. Let's say we want to add the string house at the end of the list. We write mylist.append house. This will add the string house at the end of the list. Let's print the list again and see the results. Print mylist. As you can see, the string house is added at the end of the list. We added an element to the list, but now how do we remove an element from the list? For that, we use the remove method. Suppose we want to remove 3 from the list. So we write mylist.remove and then within brackets 3. Let's print the list again and see if it worked. Print mylist and run the code. Here, as we see, 3 is removed from the list. Note that the remove method only removes the first occurrence of the element from the list and not all occurrences. Let's add another 3 at the end of the list and run the code again. As you see, the last 3 still remains in the list. Next, we want to retrieve a part of the list. Let's say we want to get all the elements from index 1 till 4. Here 1 is included but 4 is not. So we write print mylist and then within brackets 1:4. This means that the element with index 1, 2 and 3 will be retrieved but not the element with index 4. Let's print our original list as well for better comparison. Print mylist. Let's run the code again. As you see, we got 2, 4 and 5 as they are present at index 1, 2 and 3. Finally, how do we replace an element in the list? Unlike the append and remove methods, there is no replace method in Python. We can achieve similar functionality by accessing and replacing list items manually. For example, if we want to replace the value of red to white in the list, we first need to know the index of red and replace the value of red to white manually. Here the index of red is 5. Let's print the value at index 5. Print mylist 5. Then mylist 5 equals white. This replaces the value at index 5 to white. Let's print the list again and see the results. Print mylist, and as you see, the value of red is replaced by white.